my name is Beck, and today I wanted to re-examine the books that I said would be 5-star predictions earlier in 2021 so that I can kind of do a bit of a revamp and then show some new 5-star predictions for the end half of this year. So now I'm going to look back at what I predicted would be 5-star predictions and see how I go. I only predicted 5 things because I didn't want the list to be too unwieldy, so let's get back into it. Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to my 5-star predictions video. This year I'm going to include books that I actually read in the genres that I like, because in the past I included books from an array of different genres that I never really pick up, and so I didn't really have much success. So hopefully these 5 or 6 books I'm going to have a lot more success on, because they are in science fiction and fantasy, 2 genres that I really love. So let's get into my choices. The first book is one I am currently reading. It is on my January to be read video, so go and check that out if you haven't. But it is Leviathan Wakes by James Saycorey. Yes, I have read this one, thankfully. I was really nervous about whether I'd read these or not for some weird reason, even though I keep on myself about making sure I read stuff that I own. Anyway, I did read Leviathan Wakes and I do have a separate review for it now as well, which I will link down below. I did give it a 4 out of 5 stars though, not a 5 out of 5. So it is a negative in terms of what I set out this video to be, but it's a positive in the fact that I gave it at least a 4 stars or higher. And I do plan on continuing with Caliban's War, which is the second book. It's cropped up in like 2 or 3 different TBR videos that I've made this year because I do really want to read it, but I've been battling a reading slump the past couple of months or so. So because it's a bit of a larger book and The Expanse as a series of sci-fi books, obviously it's in the title, The Expanse, it's quite an expansive series and it's a very large scale sci-fi book. So I liked it. I want to continue. Unfortunately, it wasn't a 5 stars, but I'm hoping that the sequel will be a 5 stars. Next up might be a bit of an ambitious one in terms of rating, because I gave the first book in this series a 4. So I'm hoping the series only gets better for me, and that is The Great Hunt. This is the second book in the Wheel of Time, which is a very epic old fantasy series, and it follows a group of characters on a quest, and there's a chosen one and a dark one, and it basically incorporates all of the delicious tropes of fantasy that you would expect. And while it does incorporate all those cool tropes, unfortunately, it's a book that I have really been dragging my feet on, and I did not foresee this coming into this year because I was very determined this year, and I still am determined, but I just haven't been reading as much as I thought I would. And so I am still reading The Great Hunt, and it's sitting at about a 3.5 stars, and so it's definitely not going to get to a 5. Based on the book so far, I'm more than halfway through it, and it's not going to be at least a 4. I think it's going to sit in the 3s. So that is another bump in terms of 5-star predictions, but at least I'm making my way through it. I'm hoping to have that finished by the end of this year, so keep your fingers crossed for me because I need all the help I can get. Next is the only adult contemporary book on this list, and I've put it on here based on friends' recommendations because they have loved this book and they have said that I will love it too, and considering our tastes are quite similar, I have high hopes, and it's Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I always say name wrong. It's Casey McQuiston, not McQuiston. I read this book in February and I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorites of this year. So in terms of success, we've finally had one that was successful for this video. So I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's a male-male romance, perfect to read for Pride Month when I'm filming this video. And it's about 2 guys who form a romance together, but one of them is linked to US politics and his mum is running for the Senate. And then another is the son of the British royal family. And so I just love how politics and people's perspectives play into it. I like how there's a queer friendship group and queer friends to support them. It's just wonderful, and I love the banter, and the characters have such awesome chemistry, and I really can't wait to reread it. Casey McQuiston is an author that I'm going to buy more books from, and I did read Red, White and Royal Blue and gave it 5 stars, so I'm feeling quite successful right now. And then the last 2 books, one is a fantasy, one is a sci-fi. So the fantasy is Jade City by Fonda Lee. I know that this involves Jade, families, gangs, war, and also kung fu, which is amazing because I heard that Fonda Lee is a black belt. Yeah, Fonda Lee is a black belt, but when it came to reading the rest of the book and not the action sequences, which were amazing, it was just very long and drawn out, and so the pace, I felt, at least to me, really suffered, and I took a long time to read this. I ended up giving it a 3 stars, and I actually put it in my video where I was tier ranking books that I gave 3 stars, so I wanted to really like it. Obviously, it was in my 5-star predictions video for the first half of the year, but I just didn't get on board with the hype. And I find that sometimes happens to me, like with Rage of Dragons, for example, another really popular release. I just found it okay rather than amazing, and I don't know why I didn't really love the book as much, but I guess it's just down to personal taste. Some people are going to love it and hype it up, and then some people are going to find it like okay, not even just passable. I really enjoyed both books, but they just had such significant things about them, like the pace, for example, with Jade City, that I couldn't get on board with. And so while I think that I might continue Jade City in the future because I love the world building, I love the gangs, I love the family, I love the multiple perspectives that we get to hear from, and I really just liked the world in general, I wanted to know more about it and more about these characters, but the tension just felt really lacking when it came to drawing these scenes all together. It was a bit of a letdown to me after looking at all the hype and seeing how much people loved it. I wanted to love it so much, but it just didn't live up to it for me, and I'm so disappointed. And then the next book and the last book on this reading pile is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I think the first book in the Murderbot Diaries is the correct way to refer to this. I'm actually pleased with myself. I've read this one and then I've read the sequel to this one, and I've only just recently finished that actually in a reading vlog, but I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. And again, it's in that tier ranking 3-star reads video that I did, so it is right in there with Jade City. I thought I would love it again because of the hype, but I just didn't really adore it that much. It's about a murderbot, so an android who has anxiety and depression, and they are on this mission, I guess, with these people. It's contracted to be like a killer, I guess, an assassin, but all it really wants to do is relax and watch television episodes back to back. But unfortunately it has responsibilities, and so we follow Murderbot primarily because it's a single perspective story. And while I love the potential of this, I just struggled to connect with a lot of the cast of characters, not just Murderbot, but the characters around them as well. I wish that I could connect to more of them, but the story seems to move quite quickly, that the side characters become a little bit tangential, which is a bit disappointing. So I think if it had a bit more space to move and more foundation to build on, I would have given it a higher rating, but as it stands, I only gave it a 3, like I said. So I did enjoy it, but unfortunately, again, my prediction was wrong and I didn't give it 5 stars. So that concludes the video. Those are all of the books that I thought would be 5 stars. Unfortunately, only 1 out of the 5 was a success for me in terms of giving it 5 stars, but I'm glad that I've read or at least made progress on all of the books in the video that I talked about. I didn't just say, hey, here are my 5-star predictions, and then just put them on a shelf and forgot about them. I've actually made progress and I've had thoughts about all of them, so I'm quite happy with that. But I can't wait to redo some of my 5-star predictions because I have more books now that I own that I've come across, and I'm quite excited to read all of them. So I can't wait to redo that. But as for this video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what book is a 5-star prediction for you, or that you gave 5 stars that you didn't think would be a 5-star prediction. I would love to know, but thank you so much for watching this video. Come chat to me down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.